Power and Play with Kom Noli.
Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at huwag magpatalo, ipagdiwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulo, Chumbe, Sibay, Lakay, Amiga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katropa sa kapwa ko Pilipino.
Power and Play with Kom Noli.
The world of sports always brings new adventures and new dreams. At yan po ang ating pag-uusapan ngayong Sabado ng umaga. Paano? Bango na! Power and Play na! Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat, mga kapatid. Nagmumula po kami sa inyong paborito at aming paboritong Asea Subic Beach Resort dito po sa Subic Bay, Freeport. Ako po si Noli Iyala. Ito po ang Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo, Chooks to Go at ng True Religion. Naku, napakaganda ng araw dito po sa Asea. Of course, sa likod ko po ang Mount Cinco Pico. And of course, medyo makulimlim, but as usual, always a warm welcome dito sa napakagandang Asea Beach Resort in Subic. At ika nga, when you see this place, ang naging nasa isipan ninyo ay adventure. At yan po ang ating magiging paksa ngayon, araw na ito, sapagkat napakarami nating mga kakausaping may mga bagong paglalakbay, mga bagong pangarap, at mga bagong pag-asa. Mamaya po ang ating makakausap, ang pinakabagong golf sensation ng bansa. Siya po ay nanalo ng Simon Cup, yung Asia Pacific Cup, at ngayon ay kumakatok na sa biggest stage of golf. Princess Superal ang ating pong itatampok sa In the Spotlight mamaya-maya. Talking about another adventure, mga dating basketball players. One is a legend, the other one is a champion. Si Renren Ritualo at si Yuri Escueta, mga naging assistant coaches, ngayon po may bago silang paglalakbay bilang head coach ng kanilang mga bagong koponan. And another adventure, with this time with one of the most celebrated coaches in Australian basketball history. Brian Goorjian joins us later as he talks about the new adventure of the Bay Area Dragons. Yan po ang ating mga paksa on this beautiful Saturday morning, kaya dyan lang kayo po. Walang bibitaw. Lahat po ng mga nakikinig sa atin mula sa Radyo 5, sa 1PH on Signal TV, and of course, on Facebook Live. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Magsimula na po tayo sa pamamagitan ng ating Sports Weekly Highlights. Bigong maitakas ng Gilas Pilipinas ang panalo kontra Lebanon sa fourth window ng FIBA World Cup qualifiers. Kinapos ang Gilas sa harap ng home crowd sa Beirut. 85 puntos ang national team sa first quarter at may 4-point lead pa sa closing period. Pero sinelyuhan ng Lebanon ang laban sa 14-6 run para makuha ang panalo. Pumukol ng 27 puntos si Jordan Clarkson sa kanyang Gilas comeback. Target bumawi ngayon ng Gilas kontra Saudi Arabia sa huling laro ng window sa Lunes sa Mall of Asia Arena. Update naman tayo sa susunod na conference sa PBA. Kasado na ang mga import para sa Commissioner's Cup. Narito po ang listahan, ha? Quincy Miller para sa Converge Fiber Xers. Daniel Ochofu para sa Rain or Shine Elasto Painters. NBA veteran at top 5 pick sa kanyang class, si veteran Thomas Robinson naman ang sa San Miguel Beermen. Lalaro sa Magnolia si Rick Rakovic na isang Serbian. Sa Blackwater naman si Cameron Krutwig. Balik PBA rin si Lester Prosper para sa Terra Firma Jeep. Isa pang ex-NBA player ang lalaro naman para sa Meralco na si Johnny O'Brien. Dating NBA player din ang sa NLEX na si Earl Clark. Habang si fan favorite Justin Brownlee ang bibida pa rin sa koponan ng Barangay Ginebra. Para sa TNT, nandyan si ex-Houston Rocket Cameron Oliver. First time naman sa Phoenix, si Caleb Wesson. At sa Northport naman, ang nagbabalik na si Prince Ibe. Sa volleyball, Pilipinas. Kasunod yan, women kontra at 25-17. Matinding hamon ang harapin ng Creamline sa knockout quarterfinals dahil makakatapat nila ang Thailand. Tututukan po natin ang laban na yan sa One Sports Plus mamayang alas 8 ng gabi. Laban lang, mga volleyball players natin ng Pilipinas. Isa pa pong good news, back-to-back podium finish ang kinuha ni Pinoy Pride pole vaulter EJ Obiana sa kanyang magkasunod na international tournament. Naka-gold si EJ sa Internationales Stab Hawk Sprung sa 8 jump nito noong Miyerkules. Bronze naman ang nakuha niya sa Lausanne, Switzerland kahapon sa likod ng 5.8 meter clearance. Congratulations EJ, tuloy-tuloy lang ang pag-angat. At yan po ang buod ng mga balita natin pagdating sa palakasan sa ating pong sports weekly highlights. Naku, ang dami po nating tinututukang mga balita, mga kapatid. Hindi lamang po yung mga nabanggit natin. Of course, yung pong pinakamalaking pinag-uusapan ngayon ay yung pong laro kahapon o madaling araw kahapon ng Gilas Pilipinas dun po sa fourth window. Kung saan nga tayo po ay kinapos laban sa Lebanon 85-81. Napakaganda ng naging laro. Bagamat, ito sasabihin ko, bagamat, kulang po tayo ng ensayo, wala nga tayo pong tune-up games, and of course, nagkakakilalanan pa ang mga koponan o ang mga member ng ating team. Magandang makita na nandyan na po si Kai Soto, andyan na po si Jordan Clarkson, at mga nagbabalik na mga veterano, plus mga bagong mukha pagdating po sa Gilas Pilipinas. Meron pa pong isang laban, sa Lunes po yan, sa fourth window. At ang ating mga kalaban, well, hindi kasing level ng Jordan. Pero masusubukan pa rin po natin kung nagkaroon na ng adjustment ang Gilas Pilipinas. So ito po ang ating pupulsuhan ngayon pong araw na ito. Ano po ang dapat na maging adjustment ng Gilas Pilipinas sa susunod nilang laban kontra Saudi Arabia? Ulitin ko po yan mga kapatid. Ito po ang ating pupulsuhan, hatid sa inyo ng Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Ano po ang dapat maging adjustment ng Gilas Pilipinas sa susunod nilang laban kontra Saudi Arabia? Amin pong babasahin ang inyong mga komentaryo at kung mapipili po namin ang inyong comment, kayo po ay makakatanggap ng 2 gift certificates para sa oven roasted chicken, isang manok ng bayan. Mag-text lamang po sa aming hotline 0908-208-0629 o di kaya ay mag-comment sa aming pong Facebook page ng Power and Play o sa aking Twitter account. Mga kapatid, again, ano po ang adjustment na gusto nyo makita sa Gilas Pilipinas sa susunod nilang laban kontra Saudi Arabia? Alright mga kapatid, tuloy-tuloy po tayo at paspasan na natin. Sapagkat napakaganda ng araw, although may konting pagulan, kaya ipasok na po natin ang may init na takes ng ating mga bisita sa Fast Take. At ang fast lane, mga kapatid, ay hatid sa inyo ng Tigo, it's fun to drive. At ngayong araw pong ito, makakasama natin walang iba. Mga veterano at of course, mga mabibigat na opinion makers. Ang sports editor ng Philippine Daily Inquirer, si Francis Ochoa, at ang aking kaibigang coach and of course, sports analyst, Coach Charles Chu. Magandang umaga, gentlemen.
Hello.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, Kom Noli. Morning, Francis.
Morning. Morning, Coach.
Yun.
Morning, Kom.
Good morning, Francis. Good morning, Coach Charles. Thank you so morning. Medyo ang ating signal medyo nagpa-fluct ng konti. Kaya please bear with us sapagkat tayo po ay nasa outdoor dito. At may konting pag-ambon. Medyo tingnan natin kung ito'y hindi sasabit. But nonetheless, Francis, Charles, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
hear you. Ang ganda ng background mo, Kom. Nainggit
Oo nga,
naman ako dyan.
nakakaingit.
Medyo mabagal lang konti. Let's try to see if I can... Yeah, nagbabalik po tayo dito sa loob ng sa ASEA po. Again, tingnan natin kung makukuha natin. Pasensya na po ha. May konti tayong problema sa ating adjust lang natin ng konti. Ayan. Sa ating pong sinyales, but I hope this one will work. Let's bring back Francis Ochoa at saka Charles sa ating pong linya. Ayun. Francis, good morning.
Yeah. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Charles, can you hear me now?
Yep, I hear you, Kom. Morning.
All right. Well, unang-una, no, I wanna take up immediately kasi maraming, of course, na nagtatanong tungkol sa marami nagre-react sa naging laro ng Gilas, and that'll be our topic sa Fast Take. But let me ask you first, gaano kasarap na makita itong sila Jordan Clarkson at saka si Kai Soto na once again, and of course, the rest of the crew no sa Gilas Pilipinas wearing the national team colors. It must be such a wonderful feeling. I'll begin with you, Charles. Na makita natin because you covered them and you know it's good to see PBA players back in the national team.
Exactly, Kom. When I got the call to cover the game, nalaman ko, Clarkson and Kai, game kagad ako dyan. I really wanted to see those two guys play. It's nice to see Jordan Clarkson. I first got to see him play for the national team in Indonesia when I watched my brother sa Asian Games back then. And, you know, he's improved from then, so it was nice. And then si Kai, you can see the improvement also from the last time he played for us nung stint niya with Gilas then. So that's a positive thing. And then of course, mga bata ako sa team, si Chris Newsome, player namin yan sa Meralco, sila Jamie Malonzo, you know, I got the chance to coach him. It's nice to see new guys play. Of course, I can see that medyo my first time jitter start, nakakapapa sila sa FIBA international game. But nonetheless, it's nice to see a lot of support and a lot of new faces and reinforcements for the national team.
Yes, absolutely. Talagang, kumbaga, this is something that we've been all looking forward to. Pero again, ang nagiging reaction ng fans, Francis, and I want to get to you now, is yung parang kulang na naman, meron na naman tayong mga problema tungkol sa familiarity of the game. And obviously, again, the issue has been availability of players getting into the national team and spending time para mag-practice. You wrote an article about this, about how important it is for SBP to see its muscle, so to speak, no? Francis, do you think it's time for the SBP to start mandating na ayusin ng basketball stakeholders ang kanilang kalendaryo?
Yeah, I really think that as a national federation, the SBP has to establish more authority over its stakeholders. Kasi like what I wrote then, no, right now it's really from the stakeholders. It's really more of an accommodation that they're doing than having that responsibility to the national federation to contribute to the national program. No, it's really more. Oh, sige, we will move our schedule. Okay, we will move our. But we have to set. The SVP has to put its foot down and really set the kind of schedule, the kind of availability that they must they can get from these stakeholders, so that we don't go back to right now. We're just trying to fix the symptoms. Is Coach Chot doing the right thing? Do we have the right players? But we cannot, unless we solve the core of the problem. These things are just gonna keep cropping up every time there's a major international competition for Gilas. No? So I really think it's time for SPP to, like you said, no, I think that's the best term, no, to really set a mandate, so all these stakeholders, it kind of like what's happening with the PFF, no, where they have really control of their sport. They've been doing well in running their program because they have more jurisdiction over their sport than the SBP has over basketball.
Alam mo siguro, ewan ko, I don't want naman to knock on the professional side of sports, pero this is asymptomatic or symptomatic of what is happening with pro sports, no? Ganun din ang problema ng women's volleyball na again hindi tayo makabuo dahil merong mga commitments to their professional teams, and that's the same thing that is going on in basketball, of course. And Charles, I suppose when you talk about that, maraming nagsabi ng PBA they will fully cooperate. What other kinds of areas do you think can the stakeholders do or enter into some kind of actionable agreement para maayos sa atin itong problema lagi ng ating national team?
Well, I really think it's tough, diba? Kasi iba-iba naman talaga yung calendar. I know they're trying their best to kind of adjust to each other. But to me, it's also hard when we ourselves are changing the players. I remember what you did with Gilas Kom Noli. You stuck with that young group. Kahit nung natatalo sila, pinanindigan nyo for 2-3 years, and you see the results eventually. So it's hard when we keep wanting to change directions, change players at the time. I mean, the players have committed. They all want to play rin naman. And then, syempre ngayon, it's hard. The PBA finals naman, some guys, I'm sure, who are playing in the finals would be in the national team. So I just wish that, whether we win or lose, we can stick with the guys who are there, stick with our program, and stick with the plan. Diba? Parang hindi porket medyo may struggles, we panic right away. I would like to see them see it through, because I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, you hear it from the Lebanon guys themselves, si Araki, diba? Sabi nga niya na we have probably a smaller budget than almost every team here, but they've been playing together for so long, which is true.
Yeah.
I know we always use the preparation time, the lack of preparation time, as one of our reasons for our struggles. But I've heard international coaches tell me straight that, what, your country prepares more than any country. You guys have more time. Because look at the other countries, all their best players are also playing in the NBA, and kung san-san pa man, they just come in right before the tournament. So I think we are, in a way, kahit pa paano, lucky nga that we get a lot of guys to come in. So I just think that, if, let's say, this is the group that we're sending in right now sa windows na to, maybe sa World Cup, ito na rin, 1 or 2 guys, pero sana tuloy-tuloy na ang preparation nila. Kasi mamaya, if biglang we add 5-6 new guys, ang hirap naman nun.
Again, before we go to the fast take issues, Francis, sabi nga ni Charles, mahalaga yung continuity of the program, but mahalaga din, of course, yung sustainability, because kahit magpasok tayo dyan ng mga players ng PBA na tumatanda rin, and of course wear and tear, we've got to develop our young core as well, di ba, Francis?
Yeah, I think it's important that we do that we establish that kind of a program. We think long term, but again, that's the difficulty. If stakeholders do not have a calendar that is in sync with the national program, how can you put something long term, di ba? Parang it's hard to plan 3 years down the road, and then get these plans disrupted in the middle because iba yung schedule natin, and we can't, like sabi nga ni Coach Charles, we can't help it, no, ganun talaga. They have their own mission, they have their own they have their own goals also, no. It seems tama ka rin, Com, no, it's symptomatic of having big leagues. Para siyang para siyang indirect proportion, the bigger the leagues grow, the more difficult it is for the national program, parang ganon. So maybe a little balancing somewhere along the way, with a really strong federation. I don't think it's impossible naman, no? But again, there has to be really a strong mandate coming from the SPP.
Well, again, I've said this in the past, tama na yung lip service. I think we should really do something directly. Sa akin, it is a long-term program. Let's be patient about the program. Wag tayong pabago-bago, wag tayong maniwala sa bulong-bulong. Let someone take charge of the whole program. Wag nang makialam yung iba, and let him be accountable. Kung hindi gumana, let's say in a 4-year window, saka natin palitan. But let's not keep on changing. We had an opportunity to prepare for the World Cup in 2017. We had that 23 for 23 program. Ano nangyari doon? Nawala. Merong Gilas pool, Gilas draft, nawala lahat yan, and now we're back to square one. So nakakapanghinayang yung oras. But again, I think it's a matter of leadership. And I hope that the people in SBP, who are very, very fine, responsible gentlemen, very smart, very progressive thinking, I hope they understand that the stakeholders have to be involved para lang talaga magkaroon tayo ng mahusay na programa. Alright, well, pag-uusapan natin yan sa ating fast take. May a few issues tayo about that. Alam nyo na yung drill. 1 minute to answer. And of course, pato-pato sa langit, tamaan, wag magagalit. Walang tama, walang mali. We'll begin with the first issue of the morning. And this is about the Gilas game laban sa Lebanon. First time natin nakita si Jordan Clarkson muli after so many years. So ang tanong, ano ang grade ninyo sa performance ni JC laban sa Lebanon? I'll begin with you, Coach Charles. 1 minute.
Ako palagi na una. Ang hirap, ha? But, I will give him maybe a B. I thought he started the game really well. He was great in the first half, 18 points in about 17 minutes. He was hot. And they got him some post-ups and he was looking to attack the mismatch. Pero syempre, medyo nag-adjust yung Lebanon sa kanya. They were able to kind of slow him down. And the second half, medyo naging quiet na siya. Of course, he also made the right decisions when he was being doubled or nung nag-hard show sila, pinapasa naman niya yung bola. But I still felt, and I kept saying on air, that I felt the crunch time, that was his time. He had to make plays to lead us to win because he is our best player. And that's where I felt he medyo lacked short. Kasi si Araki, he scored the last 7 points for them and gave them that lead. So, doon na ako medyo, I guess, may nanghinayang pa. I really was expecting that. But, I'm so happy to see Clarkson play. I see his improvement from the past naman. So, I'm looking forward to his next game against Saudi Arabia.
Well, obviously, bago, a lot of factors coming into play. The travel, the time difference, that could also be something that we all consider. Francis, same issue. Anong grade mo para kay Jordan Clarkson sa laban kontra Lebanon? 1 minute, Francis. Go.
Okay, so I think it was passable, no? We can call it a passable performance because there's really no surprise to how he performed. No? Even the not shooting well part was largely expected. First game with the team, no, in a long while. First competitive game in a long while. All the expectations. So, even through that, Clarkson found a way to impact the game with his scoring, the defensive attention that he generated. No, he had, I think, 6-7 rebounds or same number of assists. So it was a very promising performance considering he's only going to get better, and Gilas will face a team that's not lowly rated, lower rated, but still dangerous, Saudi Arabia. So if this is kind of like his basement performance, then maybe I think it's a good start for Clarkson and the program.
Well, I totally agree with you, to the both of you. I think si Clarkson accounted well. Maganda yung sisimula niya. I think for me, his areas of improvement really is just to keep pacing. I think he's got to be more of a leader, lalong-lalo na in crunch time. Napagod, I believe, si Jordan. And of course, nag-adjust ang depensa ng Lebanon. But I'd like to see him play a little more defense. That last shot of Araki was really in front of Jordan Clarkson, and that ball, akala ni Jordan lalabas na yung bola eh. He did not see while right there in the corner, and I think that was big. And again, the aggressiveness in the end, I think that's something that I'm looking forward to sa next games ni JC. All right, let's go to our second issue of the morning. Ito'y tungkol pa rin sa Gilas, and as we prepare for the Monday game, ano-ano ang glaring weaknesses na dapat ayusin ng Gilas Pilipinas? I'll begin with you, Francis. Yan ha, Charles ha. 1 minute, Francis, go!
Right now, I think basically the turnovers, no? That's if we're talking about something glaring, no? 21 against less than, I'm sure Lebanon didn't hit double figures, no? So that's like maybe 12 or 13 more possessions for the Cedars, no? And that's just too much against a quality team that has this parang underdog mentality of squeezing the most out of possessions. Tapos bibigyan mo sila ng extra pa. So I think the way they did it's the same way that Lebanon did in the near upset of Australia, no? Yung parang talang squeezing every possession. So if we keep giving them those extra possessions, medyo mahirap. So I think turnovers will be the most glaring thing that they have to adjust. And again, it all boils down to familiarity, to more time together on the practice court, and maybe a tune-up game or two more.
Alam natin kung gaano kahalaga yung turnovers na yan. And of course, yung familiarity, that's obviously what coaches always preach. Charles, same issue, ano-ano ang glaring weaknesses na dapat ayusin ng Gilas Pilipinas? 1 minute, Charles. Go!
Yeah, the turnovers are one thing. Obviously, some of those turnovers were medyo freak na hindi naman familiarity. Nawawala lang yung bola sa kamay natin, sa fast break, it slips. So that hurts. But you're right, they had 15 more attempts than us, and we're not going to win games because of that. But the problem also, it wasn't just the turnovers. I thought the rebounding of Lebanon, offensive rebounding in particular, hurt us. You look at our big men, Japeth and Kai are bigger than the big men of Lebanon, but they were a bit more physical than us down low. Medyo kinulang talaga tayo ng big men. That's what I think is the biggest weakness right now. We need other bigs apart from Japs and Kai, maybe 2 more. Carl Tamayo is solid. He's going to be the future, but he's still so young right now. Kulang pa siya sa experience. So we need 2 veteran big men maybe. The lack of familiarity, yes, kasi syempre hindi natin na ma-maximize yung talent natin, and all the other guards also. Medyo nangangapa pa sila with each other. So we need a little more time. Of course, it's the very first game of this team together. It's hard, but yun lang. Siguro yung bigs. I wish we had more bigs.
Absolutely. And ako, the same thing. No? I personally think that we got to be a little more physical. Alam mo, iba yung international game. Alam mo yan, Charles. Referees don't call too many contacts. Again, that's another thing I felt, no? We gave up a lot of fouls as well. And a lot of those fouls sometimes are just touch fouls na hindi tayo masyadong sanay, no? And I think the other thing that I want to see is really a little more running, a little more energy from the team. And I think we were outscored in the fast break points. I think this team is very, very athletic, mabilis,
Yes.
energetic. When you have a Malonzo, you have a Newsome, you have a Scotty Thompson, and of course Jordan Clarkson, and a couple of guys who can really rebound. I think they have a chance to really run any opponent to the ground. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, magkaroon ng pahinga, and we can see a little better game. All right, third and final issue of the morning. Ito ay tungkol sa PBA Finals. Ano ang prediction ninyo sa Game 4 ng PBA Philippine Cup? I have to start with you, Charles. 1 minute. Go!
Okay. Oh, this is tough. Obviously, TNT, they had their last 2 games without Coach Chot. And, I love Coach Sandy Respacochaga. He's one of my best friends right there. But I think if Coach Chot will be back, gives them their leader, iba pa rin kahit pa paano sabihin mo pagbalik ng head coach, diba? But with that being said, I just think San Miguel is too deep right now. I have a feeling that this is their bounce back year. This is their vengeance year. No, they're so deep. They won that game without Marcio and Perez, with both of them fouling out. Last night. And Herndon stepped up. Chris Ross stepped up. And they've been doing such a good job on Mikey Williams. I think, he had one good game game 1 when he was hot, scoring 12 in the third quarter. But other than that, they've really made him work for everything. And he's the biggest key. Without him, I don't see TNT winning. Plus, right now, Troy Rosario has really been struggling. Troy is a really great player, and he hasn't been playing up to the level that I'm expecting. Plus, that Junmar factor, 27, it's tough to beat a team with a guy that good.
Well, I think Talk and Text had their opportunities last night pero hindi sila nakakapitalize. Francis, same issue. Ano ang prediction mo para sa Game 4 ng PBA Philippine Cup Finals? 1 minute, Francis. Go!
Pinaka nakakatakot gawin ng sports writer, mag-predict talaga. But I think the one thing we can do, we can expect is that TNT will come out with a really, really strong response. No, sabi nga ni Coach Charles, from guys like Mikey Williams and Troy Rosario, I think TNT will try to limit the impact of San Miguel's depth. Coach Schott said it anyway already. That's the key that they're looking at, to limit the impact of the Beermen's depth. 2 wins of the Beermen, they've tapped into that depth. We've seen Vic Manuel step up in Game 2 and then see Robbie Herndon in Game 3. So I think TNT will tighten the game a little bit up and keep possessions to a minimum. So it's going to be a tight and interesting contest from here on, especially with Coach Schott coming back.
Yeah, I think that's one X factor. Obviously, Coach Schott returning will be a big boost to the bench. Not that Sandy has not done a great job. I think he has done a wonderful job. In fact, kahapon sabi ko, I think he deserves a head coaching position already. But frankly, I thought they could have won that game yesterday. Lalo-lalo nagkaroon ng naiwan si Junmar in the last 11 seconds and they had a small ball lineup and Junmar was right in the middle. Ang daming libre doon, but that was something na hindi nila nakapitalize on. Nonetheless, I will have to say, it will be a tight game. I will have to go San Miguel tomorrow. I really have a feeling that San Miguel has found the formula. I think they have a Junmar in the middle, and of course, at the same time, everyone is stepping up. Wala pa nga doon si Barshot saka si CJ Perez, so I think it's going to be tough. But again, bilog ang bola. Gentlemen, it's been a great morning. Thank you so much for your opinions, lahat ng inyong takes. Charles, I know you have to run. Maraming salamat for taking time. And Francis, enjoy your stay in Nueva Ecija. Nueva Vizcaya, Nueva
Ecija, dito sa Japan. Thank you so much.
Maraming salamat. Mga kaibigan, ang ating pong mga kaibigan from the sports media, ang sports editor ng Philippine Daily Inquirer, si Francis Ochoa, and of course, Coach Charles Chu, sports analyst also ng TV5 Network. Alright, before we take a break, isa muna pong paalala from Smart. Puso Pilipinas is a movement to celebrate the Filipino athlete powered by Smart. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Get a chance to win exclusive Puso Pilipinas merch by sharing their Facebook page in your social media accounts with hashtag Puso Pilipinas. The GigaLife app is the latest mobile app from Smart that lets you discover and enjoy your passions with the different Giga promos. It can be downloaded and used by Smart Postpaid, Smart Prepaid, Bro Prepaid, and TNT subscribers via the Apple or Google Play Store. What can the GigaLife app do for me? Check your balance. Monitor your current subscription. Top up using debit credit card. Subscribe to the latest Giga promos. Monitor your data consumption. Auto-detect your mobile number when you are connected to Smart Network one-tap subscription to the most popular offer, Giga Video 99. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live Smart! Alright mga kapatid, sa aming pong pagbabalik, makakasama natin ang head coach ng Australian National Team at ng pinakabagong team sa EASL, ang Bay Area Dragons, Coach Brian Goorjian sa Power and Play. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo, Chooks to Go at ng True Religion.
Power and Play with Kom Noli.
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours with Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more, guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice na swak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks to go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks to Go Delivery Hotline 8687-1010 o online sa chookstogodelivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda.
Power and Play with Kom Noli.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom. Ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
DG SB, give the SB Combo Quiz a try. Large coffee in plastic donut. 99. Still. Premium donut and large coffee. Hot or ice. Large coffee and bun which 140. Just dunking yan, hot or ice choco. 120. Shokin. Premium and classic munchkins for 120. The SB Combo Quiz a try.
See posters and print ads for details. Promo runs from August 19, 2022 to December 31, 2022. Pagdating Fair Trade Permit number FTEB 147309 series of 2022.
Dunkin, pasalubong ng bayan.
Age 50 and up is the new bagets. Kaya I make sure I can keep doing the things I love. Workouts with my wife, gimmick with the barkada, outings with the family. Thanks to Nestle Boost Optimum with high-quality protein na lakas makaboost ng strength in as early as 6 weeks with 4 servings a day and proper diet and exercise. May boost pa sa immunity and digestive health. Para ready sa next adventure, tara let's boost it! Nestle Boost Optimum. Lakas makabagets!
DG SB, give the SB Combo Quiz a try. Large coffee in plastic donut. 99. Still. Premium donut and large coffee. Hot or ice. Large coffee and bun which 140. Just dunking yan, hot or ice choco. 120. Shokin. Premium and classic munchkins for 120. The SB Combo Quiz a try.
See posters and print ads for details. Promo runs from August 19, 2022 to December 31, 2022. Pagdating Fair Trade Permit number FTEB 147309 series of 2022.
Dunkin, pasalubong ng bayan. Ang oras, 8:37. Ang oras sa Radyo 5 ay hatid sa inyo ng Rhea Generics. Rhea, basta kalusugan, maasahan mo.
Ingeloxin po, papaano nabubuo ang tiwala kapag nangako at hindi binigo. Pangako ng Rhea Generics, ang pangkaraniwang Pilipino ay magkaroon ng kakayahang bumili ng mga tunay na world-class na kalidad ng gamot. Kapartner namin ang mga kilalang eksperto sa buong mundo. Kaya maaasahan mo na ang kalidad, husay at bisa ng Rhea Generics ay kapareho ng mga branded na gamot. Ganyan tumupad ng pangako ang Rhea Generics. Ang galing ng mundo, dinala sa Pilipino. Rhea, basta kalusugan, maaasahan mo.
Ang Rhea Generics ay gawa ng Pfizer, Viatris, Sanofi, GSK, Otsuka, Merck, Fresenius Kabi, AstraZeneca, OEP Philippines, Lundbeck at Boehringer Ingelheim. If symptoms persist, consult your doctor.
Rhea Generics. Rhea, basta kalusugan, maaasahan mo.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom. Ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Power and Play with Kom Noli.
Nagbabalik po tayo dito sa Asaya Beach Resort in Subic in this rainy Saturday morning. At again, nagpapasalamat po tayo kay Mr. Romel Sitin sa kanilang very, very warm welcome dito para po sa Power and Play sa aming second home. Ito pong Asaya Beach Resort in Subic. Beautiful beach right behind me, Mount Cinco Pico. And of course, the infinity pool, just a wonderful place to enjoy your weekends. Alright, bago po tayo magpatuloy, just again, a little reminder from Joyride, ang bago ninyo pong kasundo. Ang aming pong Joyride Top Up Promo. Napakadali po para manalo po ng 1,000 pesos top up sa inyong Joyride Pay Wallet. Napakasimple lang po ang mechanics. Just download the latest version ng Joyride Super App. Ikalawa, screenshot ninyo po ang app's home screen kung saan makikita nyo ang inyong pangalan. At ikatlo, ipadala lang po ang screenshot. Dapat nakalagay doon ang inyong pangalan sa aming Facebook Messenger ng Power and Play. Again, winners, pipili po kami ng 5. At the end of the show, mananalo po ng 1,000 pesos wallet credits mula sa Joyride Super App. Ito po ang Joyride Super App Top Up Promo. Again, thank you so much sa lahat po ng bumubuo ng Joyride Super App. At this point, mga kaibigan, it's time to bring in our guest. He's a first-timer on the show. Big honor for us to have with him with us, the most successful coach in Australian basketball history. And of course, he is also the head coach, a 3-time Olympian, possibly 4th, and of course, now coaching the newest team in the newest league in the region, yung East Asia Super League with the Bay Area Dragons. No other than Coach Brian Goorjian. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. Nice to be on your show and nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for being on our show and getting up so early. I know you're very busy and the team is all here. You this is not your first time. I've seen you in the past when I was the executive director of the federation. I've known your the way you coach, and I know you've been here in the past. How has your stay first been in the Philippines, and what has been the challenges of setting up camp here?
Well, one is I was very excited to when I got the opportunity, one, to be a part of the EASL. I've been in this region a long time. Korea, spent 11 years in China, all this time in Australia. To get an opportunity to compete against all these teams was exciting for me. And then the big bonus now is to be based in Manila, where, again, as you said, I've competed before. I've come over here at times and played games against teams. Also, those teams have come to Australia, and I've competed against them. And getting here, the excitement is, for me, as you travel around the world, I can't remember a country I've been in where basketball is the number one sport. You go and you see the success, I'm sure, for a Filipino to look at guys from Australia and think, look at the success Australia has basketball-wise, but really within our country, we're in a fight to be recognized with the Australian rules football, with the cricket, with the swimming, with the tennis, where you come here and it's ready-made. Everybody loves basketball. So I'd heard that from Ron Jacobs. I'd heard that from Mark Dickel, people in the past going way back about it here. But I'm really feeling it. And then our setup, being at the Shangri-La Fort, I don't think anybody can believe that, that we're actually based there and live there on a day-to-day. And go ahead.
That is a bad way to start your camp, staying in Shangri-La. I'm just joking. But, let me ask you, Coach, I know that this is a new league, EASL, and you are forming a new team. Why did you accept, knowing your history, you've been all around, you are a champion coach, you're the most successful coach in the history of Australian basketball. What brings you to the EASL as well as in heading a new team like the Bay Area Dragons?
The excitement for me, or the importance for me at my age and been around this region, like I said, for a long time, and having that success at the Olympics with this Boomers team and getting a medal and thinking that we're the only team in the history of this region to ever medal. And there's so many. China loves basketball. The Philippines love basketball. I believe Australia, this whole we need an international competition like the EuroLeague. So when the opportunity came to me and said, you can be one of the first coaches and only Chinese coach to bring this together and form an international competition in Asia, I've believed in this vision for a long time, starting with the national team. And I think it's going to be great for the Philippines. I think it's going to be great for Korea. I think it's going to be great for Japan. And more importantly, big picture, I think Australia needs to be involved with this. We need to there's too much basketball, too much love of basketball for us to be performing at the international level like we are. And the missing piece, I think, is an international competition.
Absolutely. Basketball has become so global that, I guess it's no longer a parochial thing. It's no longer a local concern. Obviously, we have to move out of our borders. Coach, let me talk about your team. How is the roster? Are you complete? Are you bringing in an Asian import? Who is your foreign imports?
So we've got a guard. We do have our team formulated. So and again, in the first year, it wasn't an easy process. It's like generating in you. What is this? What is it going to be? People aren't willing to just jump into this. They've got to see the vision. And so we've got young players from out of China. We don't have the stars from the Chinese league. We've got young guys that see this as an opportunity. And then we've got a Hong Kong aspect to this that is untapped. I think we've got some good young kids out of there as well. So to be truthful with you, when I had no idea that the Philippines basketball was so strong. Now, I'm not seeing the 20 teams or whatever. I'm watching the top 2 teams in this final and looking and going, wow, I had no idea. When you watch the national team play, and then you watch these local 2 teams play, you go, this is a level above what I anticipated. And the final series has been and again, for me personally, to keep growing and learning, I'm going to learn a lot competing in this. And all I can tell you is watching this finals, we've got our hands full. That TNT and San Miguel teams are well coached, and they're 10 players deep. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Basketball.
Well, the last time a foreign team participated in a regular conference of the PBA, I was still the PBA commissioner. And I brought those teams here to play in an invitational. Now, the Bay Dragons will be the first team in over 20 years to be part of the PBA conference. How significant is that for you and for the Bay Dragons?
Very, very, very significant. I mean, this side of it, this piece was untapped when I took the job. What are we going to do domestically? And, the international part is what attracted me to the job. And then the bonus of being based in Manila, as I said, and this competition. And the love of basketball, you see the stadium, it's filled, the level of basketball. The whole thing for me is like, you want to go through change in your life. You don't want to get routine, and also this is I've never experienced anything like it. So I'm really excited. I'm nervous because I'm watching this final series.
What are you hoping to gain here, Brian, by joining the PBA Commissioners Cup? And obviously, do you think your team, looking at the finals now, and as you said, the level of game, do you think that your team, the Dragons, are very competitive at this point?
Those, I think, will be competitive. Those top 2 teams that I'm watching now, I mean, it's a real challenge for us, just being honest. I just it's taken me back. It's just, I know we have some strengths. We have a 7'5" kid that would be a handful to, just being on the floor. It's something different. But again, what I'm going to enjoy on this is, I think for our team, this is going to toughen us up. It's going to make us, they play physical, they play tough, they're relentless, they play at high pace. Just as far as our development for the future of Chinese basketball for the EASL, the competition. We couldn't be in a better situation.
You hired Cholo Villanueva as part of the coaching staff. How has his role been? How has he contributed to the team so far? And do you think that he will be a big help, at least insofar as the PBA is concerned?
I work for Basketball Australia, and we have a director of coaching that goes around, and his name's Peter Lonigan, and I called him, said, I'm going to the Philippines. I need somebody that understands this, that can help me deal with the referees, the scorers bench, and understands the league and the players. And he gave me Cello's name and said, this is your guy. So we brought him into practice, and I can't tell you how, not only the things that we just said there, but just basketball knowledge-wise, defensively, offensively, here's what you're going to come up against. Here's some ideas for you system-wise that will help you compete in the PBA. He's been very, very important, and we're on our 4th practice game. He's helped with the interpretation of the referees on the rules. I mean, it's all new to me. That it's completely different in Australia. It's completely different than international rules.
Right.
Foul, how you call timeouts. What is the foul? What isn't a foul? And this is your competition, not ours. It's up to us to learn. All I know is I think the games are really well refereed, really organized, and but it's different. I got to learn the rules.
Well, you've been around all over the world, and obviously you are a student of basketball. You observe a lot of the leagues. When you look at the PBA and the way the games are played, as well as the organization, and the other leagues all around this region, the Korean Basketball League, the B League in Japan, and of course the Chinese Basketball League, Taiwan. How does the PBA compare, and where would you rank our professional league?
Well, I think my best example of this, I've come back. I've been in China for 12 years. I come back to Australian basketball, and as you know, the NBL, KO is playing there with Adelaide. I competed against them last year to go supposedly to better competition. And I've been in the NBL for the last 2 years. They rate themselves number 3. The NBA, Euro League. Then now I'm telling you, I've only seen these 2 teams play. And you've got to take into account, I've never watched a game of domestic basketball where there is not an import. So right. I'm watching the game in Australia. My team had 3 imports. The games you're watching, Cato's team has 3 imports. Imagine these 2 teams with 3 Americans on their team. And I'm saying now, these 2 teams, we played Sydney in the semifinal and they won it. Both of these teams could be in the top 4 in the NBL, no problem. And they do not have imports. So I don't know the rest of the competition. I haven't been a part of that. But what I'm seeing now is eye-opening.
Well, coming from you, Coach Brian, a well-renowned and respected coach, I mean, that is a huge credit for us, for our basketball, and of course, for Asia's first professional league, the PBA. We talk about global basketball and how important the role of EASL will be in promoting basketball throughout this region. Do you see this trend of cross-border competitions, even player movement continuing? And do you think that there is a downside to this, Coach Brian?
No, I think I really think it's the missing piece. I honestly do. I mean, just for me as a coach, I haven't competed against this. And it's a different style of play. And we're going to bring a different style of play as well. And you look at the success of the Euro League, what we've got so much more support. There's 1 billion people in China. There's 100 million people in the Philippines, and they all love basketball. And now you get that, players are going to get paid more. The competition's going to get better run. There's going to be better coaching. And as you're saying about learning, when you're playing against a different country, they play a different style. and you get little intricacies here, and here, and that's going to help your national team. That's going to help your national coach. And why do we have this competition? And the NBL was formed in Australia to promote the Boomers and help them get a medal. And your league, the PBA, would be along the same concept of the PBA forms that national program, and they go on and medal. So the competition of the PBA is very, very important. An international competition for it is the missing piece for the Philippines, for Australia, for Korea, for Japan, and this is the piece.
Well, that is something that I've also espoused in the past, that it's really international exposure, and of course opening our borders to many international players as the other leagues are doing. Let me just go back to your team a little bit here, Coach Brian. As you prepare to compete in the PBA, what have you set out as a goal for the Dragons, and what are you most looking forward to in your first game in the PBA?
Well, I think the number one thing is I don't know what the competition is. I'm learning as we go along, and I know I look at the ages of the Philippines players and the experience they have of playing in America, of being in this for a long. My guys are younger, and what we're trying to do is form a culture of a team that you want to be a part of. So this first couple of years, we've got a strong culture, strong training program where you can see you can get better here. You're involved in a great competition, and you live a good life. And we're attractive, so we can recruit and build this thing. So right now, it's the foundation. And, playing in the PBA, I look at it, they've got guard play, unbelievably guys that can shoot, and San Miguel, their interior, their big is as good a domestic player as I've played against a long time, and they've got depth. So you're going to be challenged every aspect of the game, but we want to play good defense. We want to control and move the ball in the half court. We're not going to be able to play at the tempo of these PBA teams. We're going to have to move the ball more and stay in games.
Well, we are certainly looking forward to your team playing in the PBA, and seeing you, Coach, on the sidelines, because you are a legend here, and we know how good you are, and certainly it'll benefit Philippine basketball in total. And talking about Philippine basketball, the Philippine national team, Gilas Pilipinas, just played a game against Lebanon, and of course the Philippines lost. Your thoughts about the game? How competitive is this team, considering that it has not had too much time together, and yet Jordan Clarkson and of course Kai Soto is now part of the national team. What are your thoughts on the Gilas team?
One is I love Coach Reyes. I've competed against him over the years, and seeing him on that sideline, I just like him and enjoy competing against him. One, two is I just think as a national team, there's so much talent here. I think the challenge is, and it was in Australia when I came, is to get the best players to play for the team. So to get Soto involved in that game, to get Clarkson involved in that game, I think was huge for Filipino basketball. The striking is that they haven't had any time together. So coming into the World Cup, you get those guys with some games underneath them and some training time together. I think they're going to do the Philippine basketball community proud. And that was it was just, and Lebanon's one of the best, and it was in Lebanon. They were right there, and they had no time together. The tough part of international coaching is to get your best players to play. And this was a good sign for the Filipino game. A really good sign.
All right. Well, as a parting shot here, I want to talk just one quick question about the Boomers. We obviously will be seeing Australia play in the World Cup here in Manila. Filipino fans are excited, of course, with Australian basketball. We know how you competed in the last Olympics, and obviously the depth of your team. Who are we expecting to see? with the Boomers next year? Is Ben Simmons coming? Is Joe Ingles coming? Is Patty Mills coming? Who do you think is going to be available, Coach Brian?
Well, the only question mark so far has been Ben and his situation. And last year, I do think if it hadn't ended like it did at Philadelphia, that he would have played. There's a good relationship that he and I have, and I do think that he is moving towards playing with us. Everybody else that you name, we've developed a tradition now through Patty Mills and Joe Ingles that the NBA guys put their hand up and are going to play. So Dyson Daniels, Giddy, Ingles, Mills, I expect them all to play, and fingers crossed that we get Ben a part of this as well. We want to take that next step and get that gold medal.
Well, it'll be a treat for us to see the Boomers play in our own arenas and in front of our fans. And obviously, you will get the cheers also from the Filipino fans. Coach Brian, thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you in the PBA and seeing the Bay Area Dragons, of course, in the EASL. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mga kaibigan, ang head coach ng Bay Area Dragons ng EASL, no other than the legendary Coach Brian Goorjian. Of course, he's also the national team coach ng Australia. All right. What a discussion, no? Yung very progressive ang thinking and just the way we want it. Sana ganun din ang Philippine basketball, no? This very, very open mindset towards the globalization of the game. Before we take a break, talking about progressive, syempre, kailangan kamustahin natin ang napakaganda at very progressive na resort dito po sa Subic, ang ating paboritong ASEA Beach Resort here in Subic. At kasama po natin muli ang ating kaibigan from ASEA, Miss Melissa Corilla. Melissa, good morning!
Hi, Sir Noli. Good morning.
Thank you so much for again hosting Power and Play dito sa ASEA. Alam mo, unang-una, napakaganda ng araw and of course, nakakatuwa. I just noticed, meron tayong a few renovations being done in the restaurants. Can you give us a little bit of what's the surprise? Ano bang pinaghahandaan ng ASEA, Melissa?
Well, yeah, first of all, I would like to greet our viewers a very good morning, no? Sunny morning from ASEA. So, yun, si Sir Noli, nabanggit niya na we are doing some minor renovation lang naman in our kitchen. Basically, it's still gonna be the same buffet area. Medyo may ina-alter lang kami a little to cater more on the buffet offerings during our breakfast, especially Chef Linda. She's really particular. Actually, that's Chef Linda's initiative to really renovate the kitchen based on how she likes it. Kasi gusto niya masaya yung mga guests natin, busog, ganyan. Yun lang naman. And then, of course, the feel of it, major change in the color para mas akma siya dun sa mga nilalagay namin sa restaurant right now. As you can see, the color of the tables are different now, even our chairs. Iba na rin yung upholstery niya. So,
right. Oh.
Really adds details.
Well, that's the nice thing about ASEA. Tuloy-tuloy ang pagpapaganda kahit napakaganda na ng ating entire place and yet continuous ang development ninyo. Let me ask you, we've been here so many times in ASEA, but marami pa rin nagtatanong, sir, ano ba ang pwede natin gawin when we are in ASEA? No? Na pwede natin mga bisitahin, mga recommendations ng ASEA pag nandito sa Subic to enjoy our stay here in Subic. Ano ba pwede nang gawin ng mga bisita, Melissa?
Yes, Sir Noli. ASEA or Subic alone is a great destination for family. No? Of course, number one, nandyan yung ocean adventure for the kids. You don't want your kids to get to be bored while you're here in Subic, so you have to make them happy by bringing them and see those sea lions and dolphins, and also Daddy, if if sporty, they can bike around, jog around. And then, of course, let's not forget our mommies na really like shopping. So, and those outlet stores. Parang di kumpleto yung Subic trip mo without shopping eh. Kasi it's tax. So, yeah.
Well, and then of course come home after all of those activities to your home here in Subic, ang ASEA with their very warm, cozy atmosphere, and of course the very cool room, napakagandang, sarap patulog, sarap humiga, and then of course right behind me yung infinity pool and the beach. Melissa, before I let you go, of course, marami ngayon dahil alam naman natin nagbubukas na ang mga negosyo, ang dami ng activity in our business community. Marami nagtatanong, saan pa kami pwedeng makapunta para sa aming mga convention, conferences? Meron ba kayong mga promos, packages like that for companies that want to avail of that?
Yes, sir, absolutely. We are catering to our corporate clients and friends. We do offer conventions for small companies and small team buildings, 100 to 120 pack, super convenient rents as ASEA. The good thing is we have a 3-in-1 event. We have the beach, we have the garden, and we have an indoor function area as well. So if umulan, like for example, we planned out an all-day team building for the entire team, but the rain, hindi na kasama. We can transfer agad to our convention hall.
Galing. I'm sure that's very, very assuring for a lot of the companies and a lot of the groups and organizations.
Sir Noli, idagdag ko na lang din, no, yung comments ng mga previous clientele namin, corporate events, is mahirap daw makahanap ng venue na masarap yung pagkain. So,
naman.
naman.
Well, Melissa, maraming salamat ulit sa panahon na binigay mo sa amin today. And again, thank you for hosting Power and Play. Huwag ka magsasawa, ha? Sabihin mo kay Boss Romel at saka kay Ma'am Sandra. Maraming salamat. Thank you so much.
Next week, sir, September 1, we will launch our holiday package. So, let's tune out for that.
Wow! May holiday package. Okay. So,
yes,
ano ba nandiyan sa...
Christmas and New Year.
Ayan. Abangan na nila yan. Ano meron dyan?
September 1 because it's Christmas season already. So, yun. Sa Facebook na lang po and Instagram.
Papaabangan natin yan. Alright, mga kaibigan, holiday package next week. Abangan nyo yan dito sa ASEA Beach Resort Subic. Maraming salamat, Melissa. See you around. Mga kaibigan, ang ating pong kaibigan, events manager ng ASEA Beach Resort. Walang iba kung hindi si Ma'am Melissa Correlia. Alright, we will take, bago tayo mag-break, no? Silipin lang natin ang ating mga viral videos at mga pop culture sa larangan ng palakasan sa ating Stop and Pop. Sabi nga nila, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Panoorin natin po itong video ito. Itong video ito, however, sira na yung skateboard, pero parang wala lang. Kay Kuya, panoorin nyo yan, no? Kita mo, kahit na nagkawindang-windang na yan, literal na hati na sa dalawang board at kumalas ang unang bahagi. Hindi yan ininda ng talentadong athlete na nagpamalas ng matinding balanse. Sana lang makabili ng bagong board si Kuya dahil, nako, hindi nakakayanin na super glue ang nasira niyang board. Ay, naku nga naman buhay. Basta masaya, ayos na. Yan po ang ating Stop and Pop moment sa Power and Play. Sa amin pong pagbabalik ang makakausap natin mga bagong head coaches, Renren Ritualo at Yuri Escueta sa Power and Play live from ASEA Beach Resort in Subic. Kami po ay hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo, Chooks to Go at ng True Religion.
Power and Play with Kom Noli.
I dare to dream big. To be a voice of my generation. To inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours with Smart Double Giga Stories. share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice. Naswak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks to go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks to Go Delivery Hotline 8687-1010 o online sa chookstogodelivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda.
Power and play with Kom Noli.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad. Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom. Ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Age 50 and up is the new bagets. Kaya I make sure I can keep doing the things I love. Workouts with my wife, gimmick with the barkada, outings with the family. Thanks to Nestle Boost Optimum with high-quality protein na lakas makaboost ng strength in as early as 6 weeks. With 4 servings a day and proper diet and exercise. May boost pa sa immunity and digestive health. Para ready sa next adventure, tara let's boost it! Nestle Boost Optimum. Lakas makabagets!
DG, SB, give the SB Combo Quiz a try. Large coffee in plastic donut. 99. Stell. Premium donut and large coffee. Hot orange. Large coffee and Bonwich. 140. Just Dunkin' yan. Had a rice choco. 120. Show Ken. Premium and classic munchkins for 120. The SB Combo Quiz a try.
See posters and print ads for details. Promo runs from August 19, 2022 to December 31, 2022. PDTI Fair Trade Permit number FTEB 1473009 series of 2022.
Dunkin, pasalubong ng bayan.
Melgyang ko po, Pilipinas. Bakit iba ang Rhea Generics? Ang Rhea Generics ay isang pangako na ang pangkaraniwang Pilipino ay magkaroon ng kakayahang bumili ng mga tunay na world-class na kalidad na gamot. Kapartner namin ang mga kilalang eksperto sa buong mundo. Kaya maaasahan mo na ang kalidad, husay at bisa ng Rhea Generics ay kapareho ng mga branded na gamot. Kanyan tumupad ng pangako ang Rhea Generics. Ang galing ng mundo, dinala sa Pilipino. Rhea, basta kalusugan, maaasahan mo.
Ang Rhea Generics ay gawa ng Pfizer, Viatris, Sanofi, GSK, Otsuka, Merck, Fresenius Kabi, AstraZeneca, OEP Philippines, Lundbeck at Boehringer Ingelheim. If symptoms persist, consult your doctor.
Rhea Generics. Rhea, basta kalusugan, maaasahan mo. Ang oras, 9:13. Ang oras sa Radyo 5 ay hatid sa inyo ng Rhea Generics. Rhea, basta kalusugan, maasahan mo.
Singgaling na, singkulit pa, Singgaling Kids! Tuwing Sabado, 6 p.m. sa TV5! Humanda na sa mas pinatinding tapatan ng lakas ng tatlo. Tuloy ang laban sa PBA 3x3 Season 2. Simula September 10 sa One Sports at PBA Rush.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad. Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom. Ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Power and play with Kom Noli.
Naimbang kabigat yo amin sa ating po mga kababayan dyan sa, of course, sa Pangasinan, sa Lawag, and of course sa San Esteban, Ilocos Sur. Magandang umaga din po sa lahat ng mga tagapakinig natin sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM. We're coming to you live from Asea Beach Resort in Subic on this beautiful Saturday morning. Again, just a wonderful place to visit para po sa inyong lahat. O bago tayo magpatuloy, pasalamat lang po sa kami sa ating mga tagapagtaguyod ng Power and Play. Maraming salamat po sa Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum sa ganitong pabago-bago ang panahon, mga kapatid. Sobrang init tapos biglang uulan. Kailangan natin ng matibay at protektadong bubong. Dapat ang bubong ay yerong may aluminum. Kapag may aluminum, tsak na pang matagalan. At isa lang ang alam kong dekalidad na yerong may aluminum, yan ang Cherry Loom, tibay protektado sa pang matagalang yero. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Cherry Tigo, it's fun to drive. How neat it is to have a 7-seater SUV that has a powerful engine, world-class safety standards, and the latest tech features. Bet you didn't know that the all-new Cherry Tigo 8 Pro has all these features and more at a very affordable price range. Cherry Tigo 8 Pro is equipped with a 1.6 turbocharged gasoline direct injection engine, an advanced driver assistance system, and 12 other safety features, including door opening warning, autonomous emergency braking, and blind spot detection. The flagship Tigo 8 Pro allows you more control of the wheel. What's great is you can also join the green revolution with Cherry Tigo 8 Pro plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, or PHEV. With just 3 hours of charging to full battery, you can already drive up to 95 kilometers using electric driving only. So book a test drive now via www.cherryauto.ph or visit a Cherry dealership near you. Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Subukan ang kanilang pinakabagong oven-roasted chicken na mas pinasarap dahil sa nag-uumapaw na flavorful chicken juice. Try also their first dine-in restaurant, Chooks. Diyan po ay matatagpuan sa Lipa, Batangas. Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. True religion is in the Philippines, where passion meets power. Experience it firsthand. For your best style choices, visit True Religion at Conrad S. Maison Mall of Asia Complex, Resorts World Manila, and at the Hacienda Designer Outlet, Silang, Cavite. True Religion is here in the Philippines. Joyride, ang bago ninyong kasundo. Magpadala with confidence kahit para sa negosyo o personal bulk deliveries man yan. Kayang-kaya yan i-deliver securely with Joyride. At tuloy-tuloy na rin po ang motorcycle taxi at ang pinakabagong offering ng Joyride, ang Joyride Car. So download the latest Joyride Super App now. Elms Seafood Paluto, the latest offering of the Elms Resto Bar Group, located at Unit 2, ground floor, Cali Bistro, Ever Commonwealth, Quezon City. Enjoy their delectable seafood menu in a relaxed, casual dining atmosphere for your salu-salu seafood meal. Elms Seafood Paluto. Skin, your face and body anti-aging center, with branches at Alabang Town Center and Green Hills, San Juan. For your skin assessments and treatment schedule, call 0917-809 or 890-1640 or 0977-809-8886. Asaya Subic Beach Resort. Experience the getaway that you deserve and dive into limitless happenings, rejuvenating experiences, and gastronomic adventures. Asaya Subic Beach Resort. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live Smart! Alright mga kapatid, next in our program, inabutan po natin dalawang bagong head coaches. Isa para sa LaSalle Green Hills at yung isa naman para sa San Beda University Red Lions. Sila po ay dating assistant coaches, mga naglaro ng basketball, and now are heading their new teams. Walang iba kung hindi the legendary Renren Ritualo ng LaSalle Green Hills at si Yuri Escueta ng San Beda Red Lions. Mga bagong head coaches ng major teams ng mga eskwela, walang iba kung hindi si Coach Renren Ritualo, of course PBA legend, and si Coach Yuri Escueta. Ngayon ay isa ring deputy sa Talk and Text. Magandang araw, Coach Ren and Coach Yuri. Thank you for joining us sa Power and Play.
Good morning, Kom. Maraming salamat sa pag-imbita sa amin.
Good morning, Kom. Thank you for the invite.
Maraming salamat. Alam ko, you're both very busy with your new job. So, una, congratulations on the appointment. Alam mo, nung nabasa ko talaga yan, I got so excited. Sabi ko, I have to get both Ren and Yuri on the show dahil marami siyempre yung mga fans ng bawat eskwelahan na hahawakan nyo ngayon is very excited. First of all, both of you came from the San Beda High School program at ngayon kayo nagbabalik sa roots niyo, no? Ren, with LaSalle in LaSalle Green Hills Of course, you were a king archer during your time, a 4-time champion. And Yuri, nagbabalik ka sa Sambeda. Now with a collegiate team, although you played with Ateneo in the college, but still it is your alumni. It is your school. How meaningful is it para sa inyong dalawa ito pagbabalik sa inyong roots? Unahin kita rin.
Well, syempre, I played 12 years in the PBA. After I retired, yun yung goal ko, is to serve my alma mater. It's either San Beda or Lasal. So it's a dream come true here na to serve Lasal. Although it's not the college, but it's the same high school. So I'm ready to face those challenges also. And alam ko naman, di naman madali itong head coaching, pero I'm looking forward to it and I'm very excited.
I'm sure everyone is excited sa Green Hills. Yuri, what about you? Gaano ka meaningful itong muling pagbabalik mo sa San Beda campus?
Syempre, very meaningful for me. At the same time, syempre, nakaka-proud being part of being an alumni of the school. Diba? At the same time, like Coach Ren, I want to give back to the school and the community just to show my that I'm really thankful for, kasi dyan po ako nag-umpisa sa San Beda. So gusto ko rin magpakita ng aking gratefulness.
Well, obviously, kayong dalawa, you are leaving a little bit of your comfort zone by becoming head coaches. Malaki din ang pressure, of course, sa inyong dalawa because your programs are winning programs. No, alam naman natin, lalong-lalo na San Beda, they missed the finals for the first time since 2005. So malaking hamon to para sa iyo, Coach Yuri. No? And of course, sa Lasal, you were champions in the high school a few years ago. And now, obviously, naghahanap na naman ng kampyonato. Coach, ang tanong ko lang, how has the transition from being a player to coaching, how is that transition? Has that been easy for you, Coach Ren?
Well, it's not easy, but syempre, I'm very equipped because from my experiences from great coaches, I learned a lot. And of course, syempre, during my time playing, I'm a good soldier naman. I'm a good listener from my coaches. I'm very coachable. So yun lang yung i-apply ko dito, yun ang ita-transition ko, yun ang ibabahagi ko sa mga players ng Lasal Green Hills. So I want to be an inspiration for them.
Coach Yuri, ikaw naman, you've been a deputy, not only with Talk and Text, but in your earlier days, of course, with the Ateneo and even with Gilas. Ano ang nag-push sa'yo or nagbigay sa'yo ng, I guess, assurance that you are ready to take on this very big challenge as head coach sa San Beda?
Welcome. I'm very grateful that I was given the experience. I was under good coaches. Diba? So, it really gave me the confidence and the basketball knowledge to handle this job na knowing that may pressure sa San Beda. But at the same time, I know also na susuportahan naman ako nila, with the support of Boss MVP and the university na kasi right now we're rebuilding. Kaya isa din yun sa nagbigay ng confidence sa akin na kunin tong job na to.
Mas madali ba being a former player, an alumni of your respective schools? Mas madali ba or mas mahirap? Yuri, ikaw muna.
Sa akin, syempre, parang mas madali kasi parang mas mahal mo yung ginagawa mo. Malapit sa puso mo eh. Diba? Yung ginagawa mo, hindi ka lang kasi nandun sa school na yun dahil sa trabaho. Diba? As a coach. But nandun ka sa school yun kasi you represent the school itself, being part of the alumni, diba? Being part of the community. Syempre, it's always nice to yung pagbalik ko nga sa Beda, doon ako natuwa kasi yung I saw old faces.
Oh.
They're there. Yun, kaya malapit sa puso mo, Kom, pagka ganun.
Ren, you are obviously, ikaw legend in the campus in Taas. And of course, sabi mo nga extension ng Green Hills. Mas madali ba o mas malaki ang pressure sa'yo?
Well, Kom, sabi ko nga, growing up, talagang may pressure na ako since high school, going to college, going to the PBA. So I grew up with pressure. Siguro, I observe myself, I know myself. the higher, the heavier the pressure, yun doon ako nagpe-perform well. So, hindi ko masasabing I'm used to pressure, pero I know how to deal with pressure. So, I think that's going to be my advantage, taking command for LaSalle Green Hills.
Of course, Ren, you were under some very, very good coaches. You were a shooting coach sa Mahindra. You became an assistant coach, of course, sa Adamson behind the great Franz Pumaren. Needless to say, obviously, ang influence of Coach Franz is very big on you. But outside of Coach Franz, of course, can you explain ano ang naituro sa'yo ni Coach Franz? But beyond that, sino pa ang biggest influence sa'yo sa tingin mo pagdating sa coaching mo?
Well, of course, yung high school coach namin, ni Coach Yuri, si Ato Badolato, the late Ato Badolato, dyan naman tayo nag-start eh. Nung high school pa lang kami, syempre, he instilled discipline talaga and hard work. So, nadala ko yun, going to LaSalle, and of course, syempre, yung killer instinct during my high school days, and then nadala ko nga through college na talagang laro hanggat sa hindi pa tumutunog yung buzzer. And of course, syempre, outside there, yung mga PBA coaches ko, which is I'm so thankful, other than Coach Franz, with Coach Jong Chico, and of course, Coach Derek Pumaren, Coach Bo Perasol, Coach Chot Reyes, naging coach ko din. And of course, sila Coach Ryan, Gregorio, I was under great coaches talaga, and I've learned a lot. And then, of course, I was a member of the national team. I've served lots of international competition, and I've been there. And nakita ko yung mga coaches and the players, other players na how to prepare, yung coaches and how to prepare, especially when with the Adamson, nag-assist ako kay Coach Franz. It's a different perspective from players to being assistant coach with Coach Franz.
Ibang-iba na responsibility, obviously, ng pagiging head coach. And with all of those great names, hindi ka mapapasama for sure. Coach Yuri, ikaw naman, sabi ko nga kanina, you were not only a player in the Ateneo program that was very successful as well, you were under some of the best coaches in that program, in Gilas, and of course in Talk and Text. But when you look at it, sinong may malaking influence sa'yo, Coach Yuri?
Well, of course, when I was playing, ang talagang nag-influence sa akin mag-coach is si Coach Norman and sila Coach Sandy. But say, when I was a player, seeing them, how they impact the game, parang it really inspired me to be a coach. Kasi yung nakita mo yung talaga yung coaches mo, na malaki influence sa player, na yung nakokontrol nila yung game, di ba? Sabi ko parang okay yung mag-coach, seeing them how they work, talagang sila ang naging inspiration ka. Tapos, yun nga, I learned a lot from Coach Tab sa Ateneo when I was assistant na. So, yun yung mga nadala ko. And of course, with Coach Shot, ngayon sa PBA, which is, syempre, different naman yung mga pros. So, may mga aspect na gusto ko na ina-adapt ko, na yun ang nadadala ko ngayon as a coach, young coach.
Alright, well, talking about that, very briefly, ngayon na kayo ay bagong head coaches in your brand new teams. Can you describe your coaching styles? Kayo ba yung mga tipong Yang-Jiao na mainit ang ulo? Kayo ba yung mga tipong Leo Austria na naka very stoic ang dating? O very colorful like Coach Shot? What would be your coaching style? Defensive, offensive? Let me begin with you, Coach Red.
Well, lumaki ako sa yung system talaga namin is defensive. Yung priority talaga sa LaSalle was defensive system with Coach Franz and the Pumarens. And of course, yung offensive prowess ko, syempre, isasama ko na rin yun sa lahat na yun. So, it's going to be a double-blade team ang gusto natin, defensive and offensively. So, yun yung ideal na gusto mangyari natin. And of course, syempre, through hard work and discipline, kailangan magawa namin yun. Kasi we're eyeing. Sabi ko nga, I'm not just here to coach. I'm here to win. And that's the goal. Sabi ko, if I'm not having fun if I'm not winning. So, yun yung ipapasa ko sa mga student athletes.
Well, alam naman natin kung gaano ka-intense si Coach Franz. Kaya aasahan namin kung gaano ka-intense sa basketball coach, as court Coach Ren. Coach Yuri, ikaw, ano magiging style mo? Are you going to be similar to Coach? Alam mo naman si Coach Norman, very cool yan. Pero iba rin naman, of course, ang style ni Coach Shot. What kind of coach will you be? And of course, what kind of patterns would you want to focus in your team?
Well, if I can say siguro, I'll be a calm and collected coach. Ayoko naman masyadong maingay ako sa sideline. Ayoko rin masyadong emotional. Diba? So, relax lang sa sideline. Coach Leo style. Pero siguro yung playing style ko is more of, if I can say, ball screens, ball movement, lesser dribble, more passes. So defensively, more of trying to take away stuff. And fast-paced tempo game. Siyempre, yun yung gusto natin. As sa college, yun ang yun ang gusto natin. Ayaw natin ng walking pace.
No.
Tayong energy ng mga bata.
Correct. Mga batang-bata pa yan. Punong-puno pa yan ng enthusiasm at saka energy. Yes. Alright. Let me ask you specifically about your teams. Ren, unahin kita. Ano ba una mong ginawa when you have you met your team? At anong una mong inasikaso sa team when you got the post as head coach ng LaSalle Green Hills?
Well, kanina I just came from the tryouts. It's our first day of tryouts. I saw the aspiring players, yung mga hindi pa varsity, nandun din, mga outsiders then were welcome kanina, and then of course the varsity players na they're fighting for their spots also was there also. So I saw some players there na very potential or talagang may ilalabas pa, and then I'm very excited to coach them, and of course syempre yung mga dadating pa from kasi yung iba nag-represent ng country I think we have like 4 players there, so yun, excited din ako makita yung mga sila. Hindi ko pa sila nami-meet, pero yung iba na-meet ko sila kanina. So yun, I started from there, knowing the players. I want to build relationships with them, and of course I want them to trust me. Kasi if they don't trust me, walang mangyayari dun sa kahit anong croquis ko doon, kahit anong design ko ng play doon or anong defensive schemes. If they don't believe and trust me, it's not gonna work.
We all know that you are one of the best shooters ever in the PBA, in collegiate basketball. Ito bang team na binibuild mo, kino-construct mo, will be loaded with people like you? Mga prototype ng Renren Ritualo?
I want that to happen. I want them to shoot like me. Syempre, I'm gonna teach them how to do that. But of course, syempre, I have assistant coaches with me also who can help me hone their skills also, and malabas talaga ma-unlock yung potential talaga ng mga bata. Of course, these kids nowadays they're very skilled. And of course, makikita natin college, high school, PBA, medyo bumababa yung shooting percentage, mga free throws, 3-point areas. Yeah, ang daming tumitira, ang daming pumapasok. But, free throws are very important for me, and of course, those percentages should go up. So that's my goal for the team. Dun sa LaSalle Green Hills.
Yuri, ikaw naman, sabi ko nga kanina, you missed, Sambeda missed the finals for the first time, if I'm not mistaken, since 2005. So that is malaking disappointment for the Mendiola campus. But ano ang sa tingin mo biggest challenge of your team right now?
Well, it's the teaching the new system. Kasi ang nakauglian nila from the times that they were winning is they always had the dominant big man. Diba? Sila lagi yung meron silang import dati. Na pagka binigay mo yung bola, pwede ka manood eh. Ngayon kasi medyo, since wala ng import, diba? So, ang yung system na teach ko medyo baliktad from what they got used to. Which is, wala namang tama, walang mali. Depende naman talaga sa sa anong belief mo eh. So, ang medyo bago para sa lahat ng players. Pero ang kagandahan nga doon, yung mga players very receptive to the teachings that yung tinutulungan natin. At the same time, gusto na rin natin matutunan nila ito kasi ito na rin ginagawa sa sa professional level, probably in the international level, yung ball screens and lots of outside shooting. So yung game pace, lots of less dribbles, more passes, more man movement. So medyo kaiba talaga Kom do sa what they got used to. So yun yung challenge na ngayon for me as their new head coach.
Binubuo mo pa ba yung Sabado Red Lions? Or buo na ba yan? If ever binubuo mo pa, what are the missing pieces sa tingin mo sa team mo? Are you looking for more bigs, more guards? Ano ba ang hinahanap mo, Coach Yuri?
Well, when I came to the Sabado Red Lions team, they have a good group of young guys. So more of, yes, we want to add talent, diba? Height and skill through our recruitment program and maybe through our high school program, which is maganda yung programa ng high school namin, diba? But again, it's more of developing what we already have, yung mga group of young guys, making them experience playing games. Kasi nga, nung pandemic, medyo hindi sila nakalaro Kom. So, mga rookie sila nun eh. So ngayon, parang mga third gen na sila, pero mga first time nila naglaro nung last NCAA, so parang rookie pa rin talaga sila in terms of experience. So ngayon, we're just trying to play games, kaya yung mga tune-up games, I feel all, sumali kami kahit na 1 month, 2 months pa lang ako dun sa onboard sa Sanbeda. Sabi ko, sige, laruin natin para yung mga player natin maka-experience ng games. And hopefully, through the games that we're playing, we learn stuff. And we try to do what we do in practice lang. Diba? Para nalaman namin kung paano namin ko correct. So,
alright.
Ganun ko.
Well, Ren, before I go to a general topic, I want to ask you, we all know you are a champion ever since. Juniors pa lang, champion ka na. You went to the Collegiate League and UAAP, 4-time champion. Nagpunta ka ng PBL, champion kayo, and of course, in the PBA. Paano mo tinuturo yung winning mindset na yan o yung championship attitude that you've always been known for ever since you were playing basketball?
Well, for the players that I handled before, I say stories, I say my experiences, I share my experiences and knowledge. First-hand experience ko, I tell them stories also. How I approach the game, how I approach practices, how I practice. I tell them I'm really obsessed with shooting. I'm there first hour pa lang, nandun na ako yung unang-una sa court. Ako din yung last nalalabas sa court. Pinapatayan na nga ako ng ilaw sa Lasal dati bago ako matapos ng shooting ko. So, I'm going to be lead by example. Ganun ako lagi. Kasi pag puro salita lang, it's not gonna happen. I have to lead by example. So, yun pa lang, medyo maganda na yun para sa mga bata. Kasi I want to inspire them also.
Well, alam natin, this is a topic for the two of you. Alam natin na the recruitment in collegiate basketball, in amateur basketball now is very, very intense, no? And hindi lamang among teams and among schools, but also now, kinukuha sila ng mga international leagues. Marami na mga player in the collegiate ranks na nagpupunta sa Korea, nagpupunta sa Japan or sa Thailand. Yan po mga kaibigan ng ating panayam with Renren Ritualo at si Yuri Escueta, mga bagong head coaches ng LaSalle Green Hills at ng Sanbeda Red Lions respectively. Again, for their full interview, konti na lang naman po ang ating pong hindi na ipalabas dyan. But again, for the full interview, mapapanood nyo po yan sa aming Facebook page ng Power and Play. Again, congratulations to Coach Ren and to Coach Yuri. Coach Yuri, of course, is continuing to be a very, very good deputy dyan sa Talk and Text, especially during the absence ni Coach Chot Reyes. All right. Before we bring in our feature in the spotlight, gusto ko lang pong bumati ng isang hello kay Coach Ariel Van Goorjian na nakatutok dito sa atin mula sa ASEA. Sure, makakapasok ka, Coach Ariel. Sabihin mo lang kung kailan yung team building. And of course, kay Ma'am Tina Tan, kay Tita Tina, thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Ako nga pala, isa pong pakikiramay din ako sa ating pong kapatid sa hanap buhay, si Peter Paul Patrick Lucas, asawa ni Ma'am Gladys Lucas, who also passed away recently. Again, iniwan na rin po tayo ni Peter Paul Patrick Lucas, isa sa pinakamahusay na sports journalist, sports broadcasters, at aming pong pakikiramay sa kanilang pamilya. Nakakalungkot talagang balita, but again, pinagdarasal po natin ang buong pamilyang Lucas sa kanilang mga kamag-anak, mga minamahal sa buhay na nauna na po sa atin. Alright, at this point mga kaibigan, ipasok na po natin ang ating tampok na panauhin sa In the Spotlight. She is the latest toast of the town pagdating sa golf. She just won the Simon Asia Pacific Cup, one of the highest and biggest tournaments in this part of the region. And now she's knocking at the door of the biggest stages in golf. Mga kaibigan, ang ating newest golf sensation, Princess Superal, sa In the Spotlight. At kasama po natin ngayon, Princess Superal, ang ating champion ng Simon Asia Cup, Asia Pacific Cup individual title. Magandang araw, Princess. Thank you so much for joining us dito sa Power and Play.
Thank you po for having me here.
Alam niyo po mga kapatid, si Princess is coming to us from Thailand, kung saan naghahanda na naman siya for a series of tournaments after that pambihirang pagkapanalo, of course, sa Jakarta, Indonesia. Unang-una, Princess, congratulations doon sa pagkapanalo mo. Nag-sink in na ba na you finally got that breakthrough win sa pro career mo?
Actually, hindi pa nag-sink in sa akin. Parang nung unang araw after nung win ko, parang hindi po ako makatulog kasi parang hindi po talaga ako makapaniwala na nanalo ako. Parang until now, parang inisip ko pa rin, totoo ba yun?
Bakit naman? Bakit ka nasurpresa with your performance? Dahil ba sa sobrang daming big names na nandun sa leaderboard? And of course, yung nasa mga kalaban mo, is that the reason? Or your game was medyo may problema ba before this tournament? Or talagang dala na lang ng tournament. Ano ang rason kung bakit you got surprised with this victory?
Syempre po, of course, parang nandun po yung mga magagaling na players from LPGA. And before, kasi parang may problem ako with my putting. And parang last week, sobrang nag-click po talaga lahat ng game ko, parang okay. So ayun, nagulat din po ako na parang ganun ako naglaro last week. Sobrang ganda po.
Sobrang talaga. I mean, in the 3 rounds na nilaro mo, 1 bogey the entire tournament. Isa lang bogey ang nakuha mo. And of course, in that final round, 5 under 67 na walang bogey at all, making those big putts whenever you needed to. It was always tee to fairway to green. Yung greens and regulation mo napakataas. And that's why I wanna ask you, yung bang, alam natin you played doon sa Pondok Indah sa Indonesia before, yung bang familiarity mo with the course nakatulong dito sa maganda mong performance?
Siguro po, kasi naglaro po ako doon siguro 7 years ago. Parang may ibang holes na familiar sa akin, pero most of the holes, hindi ko na po talaga matandaan. So, pero nung paglaro ko ulit, parang medyo nakalimutan ko na. Pero at least familiar ako sa ibang holes. Opo.
Kamusta yung conditions nung tournament? Ang narinig natin sa mga announcer nung pinanood ko yung final round is the course was playing long. Totoo ba yun?
Opo, sobrang haba niya po. Nagulat ako na ganun siya kahaba. Pero yung course, sobrang ganda po nung pagka-maintain nila, and yung green, sobrang bilis.
Pero parang napakadali para sa iyo. I mean, ang ganda ng mga drive mo. Sabi ng mga announcers, nauubusan na nga sila ng description eh. Puro gitna lang ng fairway, ang lahaba. Did it suit your game, yung Pondok Indah, yung course na yun?
Yes, opo. Yes, opo. Kasi very consistent naman po ako with my shots. And may holes doon na masikip. So, parang doon po siguro ako nagka-advantage kasi diretso lang po ako pumalo.
Alright. Alam mo, before that tournament, you were ranked number 924 sa women's rankings, no? And of course, ang mga nakalaban mo doon, napaka mabibigat, no? Lydia Ko, who is the number 4 player in the world, a former major winner. Nandun si Soryon Ryu at si Yu Junlin, no, na number 8 in the world. Puro mga major winners ito, no, major golf tournament winners. Were you even conscious na nakasama mo sa flight si Lydia Ko? And was there pressure na makasama mo yung ganong klaseng mga pangalan?
Opo. Kasi hindi po talaga ako nakatulog the night before nung nalaman ko na lalaro sila. Actually, before the tournament po, nakita ko hindi ko po alam kasi nasasali sila. Basta sabi ko, sige, sasali po ako sa tournament. Pero nakita ko yung parang board nila na nandun si Lydia Ko, si Bomili, si Soyun Ru, tsaka si Yoo Kim. Sabi ko, parang kinabahan po talaga ako. Parang before pa ng tournament, hindi na po ako makatulog. Lalo na po nung alam ko na makaka-flight ko sila. Hindi po talaga ako nakatulog ng maayos. Sobrang kabang-kaba po ako.
Ano sabi ng coaches mo? Paano mo minanage yung kaba mo?
May sport psychologist po ako, si Coach Lee Tahonera po. So, ayun, tinulungan niya po ako kung paano i-handle yung ganung pressure and kung ano yung gagawin ko for that day. So, yun, nakatulong po.
Alright. Well, of course, up and down yung first 2 rounds mo, but yung third round mo, talagang doon ka umalpas, lalong-lalo na yung first 4 holes mo, no? Kung saan you birdied the first 3 of the first 4 holes, kaya ka lumayo na. After those birdies, what did that do to your confidence, Princess?
Parang may goal kasi akong score sa every 9 holes. So, pagka 3 birdie ko, parang sabi ko, parang kaya ko pa pala. So, parang nag-gain yung confidence ko. So, parang alam ko na kaya ko pa mag-birdie. So, ayun po.
Talagang medyo nandun yung game plan at naaabot mo na yung game plan mo. Alright. You know, you're talking about Lydia Ko. Nakita natin that kasama mo siya sa flight in the third and final round. And, you know, meron kang isang interview na hindi kayo nag-uusap. Although, nakikita sa video na pag meron ka mga putt, napapapalakpak siya or napapailing siya pag yung namimiss mo. Parang gusto niyang pumasok, gusto niyang tulungan ka. Did you feel that, yung mga body language ni Lydia? How was the experience? Tell us nga yung experience mo na kasabay si Lydia Ko.
Actually po nakikita yung parang pag pumapalakpak siya kasi parang sobrang focus po ako dun sa game ko. Pero nakita ko na lang after. And ayun po, sobrang na-amaze po ako kung paano siya naglaro, paano siya sa course, parang kung paano niya handle yung sarili niya. Madami po ako natutunan sa game niya. And sobrang friendly niya po. So, parang,
after the round, nakita natin of course na kayo ay nagkaroon ng very, very warm hug and a gesture of sportsmanship. Meron ba siya nabanggit sa'yo?
Kinongratulate niya lang po ako. Pero sinabi ko sa kanya na parang honor ko po na makalaro siya. And yun, nag-thank you po siya. And yun, kinongratulate niya po ako.
Wow! Talagang pambihira. And of course, you know, there were other big names there. And you were carrying, of course, ang pangalan ng Pilipinas na nakuha rin natin ang second place sa tandem ninyo ni Pauline Del Rosario. Gaano ka halaga yun para sa iyo? And when you rank both victories, isang individual title at isang team title, how do they weigh para sa iyo, Princess?
Actually, nung nandun na po ako sa course, parang hindi ko na po naisip na yung individual competition, yung team event. Basta ang nasa isip ko lang po noon is hanggang kaya ko, parang gagawin ko yung best ko. So, ayun. Pero, individual and team event, for me, the same lang po. Parehong importante siya.
Alright. Well, kamusta si Pauline as a partner? Meron ba kayong mga pag-uusap during the rounds? How was she supporting you even in your chase for your own individual championship?
Nung nasa course po kami, nag-uusap lang po kami about linya ko and kung paano sila maglaro. Opo,
Wow.
and like, kahit sa after po namin maglaro, yun, pinag-usapan pa rin po namin kung ano yung mga natutunan namin sa laro ng mga LPGA players. And ayun, nakatulong po siya kasi, ayun, very supportive po siya. And ayun po, sobrang nag-enjoy ako kasi matagal ko na po siya hindi naka-partner eh. So, ngayon lang po kami ulit nakita.
Well, mukhang maganda naman ang inyong partnership at talagang nakikita naman yan even during that final round. You know, pinag-uusapan mo yung mga lessons na natutunan with this LPGA players, mga world-ranked players. Bigyan mo nga kami, ano ang more or less na nakuha mong leksyon sa paglalaro, yung nakikita mo ng paglalaro nila, even before the round? Kasi obviously, meron kayong mga routine, ano? Meron ka bang napulot doon na nasabi mo sa sarili mo, gagawin ko to kasi mukhang maganda? Is there something like that?
Yes po. I think very consistent po sila sa routines nila. And, ayun, pag nagkakamali po sila, parang very, very calm lang and parang nababawi nila. Tapos very composed po sila maglaro sa course. So, ayun po.
Ikaw, mukhang mas composed ka talagang. Parang wala nang nakaka-fluster sa mukha mo. Yung, pag tinitingnan ko yung video, parang kahit na anong palo, hindi ka natutuwa, hindi ka naman din overexcited, hindi ka naman nagmamaktol na pag masama ang palo. You were very calm in the course, and I think that really helped for you, no? Before we patuloy natin himayin yung round mo sa Simone Cup, you know, a lot of people now, siyempre pinag-uusapan yung pagkapanalo mo, pero siyempre marami rin hindi nakakakilala kay Princess Superal. So I know you come from a family of athletes, no? Describe mo nga sa amin ng pamilya mo, Princess, ha? Ikaw ba ay pang-ilan sa pamilya mo, and how many of you are playing golf?
So, yung dad ko po, teaching pro. So, siya po yung nagturo sa amin lahat. So, yung mom ko nag-golf din po. And then, meron akong one older sister, one older brother, and one younger sister. So, pangatlo po ako. So, ayun, ever since bata po kami, tinuruan niya kami mag-golf. So,
If there is,
nag-start.
Maliban sa skills ng golf, ano ang pinaka-importanting na ituro sa iyo ng father mo at saka ng mother mo?
I think, yung dad ko kasi, siya talaga yung nagturo sa akin since nung nag-start ako, 5 years old. So, parang natutunan ko yung kung paano yung sa short game, kung paano maging magaling sa short game. And ayun po, yung mom ko, parang very supportive po siya. So, kahit masama laro, parang okay lang yan, bawi na lang next time. Parang, ayun po. So, yun.
Well, alam mo, mahalaga of course ang support ng pamilya, and it's good na nandun lagi nga yung support group mo. Lalo-lalo na pagka medyo kinakabahan ka. They don't go with you of course, no? Pero did you get any words of encouragement sa kanila bago ka nag-final round?
Good luck lang po. Good luck lang po. Opo. So,
alright.
ayun.
Princess, malaking panalo to because hindi lamang sa premyo, kung hindi sa prestige nung tournament, no, yung Simone Cup. Ano ang significance nito para sa career mo, sa tingin mo?
Malaking bagay po itong panalo ko na to. Kasi, yun nga po, nabigyan ako ng confidence and nag-open up po yung ibang opportunities. Like, na-invite po ako sa mga ibang tournaments, mga big tournaments sa Asia. So, ayun, yun po. May magandang opportunity po to.
Anong mga invitation to? Anong mga invitation to, Princess?
Meron po akong tournament sa Korea and yung isa po Singapore.
Wow.
So,
What about the biggest golf competition, yung LPGA? Are you expecting na itong performance mo makaka-attract ng attention at makakakuha ka ng invitation to play in the LPGA?
I'm not so sure po if may invite po ako, pero siguro I'll try po to play the qualifying next year.
Alright. Well, bata ka pa naman, but is that part of the plan, Princess, na eventually ang gusto mo ay talagang maglaro full-time sa LPGA?
Actually, this year po, plan ko mag-Japan LPGA qualifying. Pero if makapasok, pwede naman din po ako maglaro sa LPGA Q School. So, ayun. Pwede naman po dalawa laruan. Opo.
Well, alam natin na JLPGA, dyan nagsimula din si Yuka Saso na ating kababayan, may dugong Pilipino. Of course, na ngayon ay pinili na to represent Japan, no? And for a while, alam natin si Yuka was the face of Philippine golf. Pero ngayon, mukhang naipasa na sa iyo ang responsibilidad, ang trono, ang corona. Do you feel the responsibility, and paano mo hahandlein itong responsibility na ikaw na ngayon ang mukha ng Philippine women's golf?
Parang hindi ko po masyado inisip na ganun, pero parang gusto ko lang po talaga maglaro. Maglaro ng best ko every game. Yun po yung importante sa akin.
Kasi alam naman natin that yung mga klase ninyong atleta, no? Si Yuka, when she was representing the Philippines, ikaw, sila Pauline, I mean, you serve as an inspiration. Hindi maraming kababaihan ang nagko-compete in golf internationally, no? So, is that something that nagko-cross sa mind mo na sana ma-inspire ko sila with this kind of performance?
Yes po, sana na ma-inspire ko yung ibang players to play outside na yung sana yung panalo ko na-inspire sila na para manalo din sa ibang bansa.
All right. Well, right now you are in Thailand. You are competing sa Alright mga kapatid, yan po si Princess Superal, ang ating pinakabagong champion sa golf. Again, a wonderful victory sa Simon Cup doon po sa Jakarta, Indonesia, and a big honor for the country, finishing second doon sa Asia Pacific Tournament na yan. Congratulations kay Princess Superal. We hope to see you more sa golf scene. And of course, bago po tayo magtapos, gusto ko lang pong ibigay sa inyo, sabihin sa inyo ang mga nagwagi sa ating Joyride Super App Top Up promo dito po sa Power and Play. Again, 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits ang handog ng Joyride sa 5 lucky winners. Una po, ang nanalo ay si Eileen Cisneros. Pangalawa po si Sheila May Acacio. Pangatlo po si Aaron Tolentino. Pang-apat, Henry Helmuth. Parang foreigner pa, ha? At panglima po ay si Senen Kalidayan Sunico Jr. Kayo po ay makakatanggap ng 1,000 pesos e-wallet credits from Joyride Super App. Again, matatanggap nyo po yung message na kayo po ang nanalo. And of course, sa pagdating po sa ating pulso ng bayan, again, ang pinupusuan po natin, anong dapat maging adjustment ng Gilas Pilipinas sa susunod nilang laban kontra Saudi Arabia. Again, ang dami po nagbigay ng kanilang kuro-kuro. Sa Twitter, sabi ni Mark Suba, bawas turnovers lang. If we play the same way we play against Lebanon, tatambakan natin yan. John Serna sabi, magandang adjustment kung palitan yung coach. Ikaw naman dyan. Kung kahit tambakan pa natin yung kalaban, yung saya, puso na mga sumusuporta sa Gilas, hindi mo mararamdaman. At marami pa pong iba, sabi, yung isa, maayos na sistema, yun talaga kailangan. Andyan na yung talent saka skills ng player, sistema na ang namumuno hanggang sa coaching staff. Pero po, ang nagwagi sa atin ngayong araw na to, bigay ko na po yung mga pangalan ng mga nanalo po natin sa ating pong pulso ng bayan. Ang una po ay si Angelito Sarlatan. Ang sabi niya, adjustment versus Saudi Arabia, less ang turnover kasi versus Lebanon, daming turnover. Yung pick and roll ng international team, yung drive at kick out pass sa tres, yun ang dumali versus Lebanon. Overall, dapat exposure sa international game. Dapat ang mga Philippines Pro Ball Club ay mag-adjust ng calendar para sa preparation sa ganitong competition. Andyan na lahat ng best talent of Philippines basketball, practice, international exposure, intact players, di yung papalit-palit. God bless Gilas. Congratulations again, Angelito Sarlatan. At yung pangalawa po nating nalo ay kanyang Twitter handle ay Makapusa at Ako si Garfield. Ang sabi niya, iwasan ng turnovers, help Kai in the shaded lane, and the shooters of view. Sunod na po ang inay ko po. Happy Sports Weekend mga kapatid! More power, more play.
Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at huwag magpatalo, ipagdiwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulo, Chumbe, Sibay, Lakay, Manila.